Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our live demo of Automata. I'm Esther from Create at the Arizona Science Center. And today we are going, like I said, we're going to be live demoing Automata, which is the plural of the word automaton. Automaton were earlier robots that were relatively self-operating. Most of them used simple mechanics inside that allowed them to do anything from ringing a bell to more elaborate ones that could write like a little script. They only could write maybe a few different things depending on how the person who built it arranged different mechanisms. And today we're going to be making a really simple automaton. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you one that I already kind of pre-built, and then another one that is almost assembled. And we're going to show how different things can change depending on what you do. Okay, I'm going to flip that around. Okay, so right there, I got my little automaton. If I had it set up to a like a thing that could crank it itself, it would spin this flag around. Okay. And what you see there is a cam system. Okay, cam is pretty much something that is pretty much this. It's a flat object that spins. There's a little bit more to it, but in this case, it's pretty much what it is. Okay. And then right there is a cam follower. Okay, so the motion of me turning this crank is transferring that motion to the cam, and then that motion is being transferred to the flag. So the flag is spinning. So I'm going to be putting my phone down. So I already have one that I already kind of have set up. You can build your own at home using whatever you have on hand. Instead of me trying to build a box out of cardboard, measuring and everything, I just found one that was already a box and cut off the flaps, so I had room to work. On top, pretty much use plastic straws. These are my bearings. They're going to guide. Sorry for my camera. Normally it tends to stay in focus. Maybe it's saying, oh, I need to focus on that face of the flag. So, have my box. And I'm going to put the camera down so I can work a little bit easier. There we go. Let me know if I need to move anything around so you can see better. Okay. I'm going to start off with materials. If you need to grab anything, if you want to make one, build a box, make a box, cardboard, magazines, little toys, whatever you want to grab, dowels, kebab skewers, pencils, whatever you have on hand. Okay. And like I said, we got our cams. Now in my other example, my cam was perfect circle. In this one I did oval. Okay. And I made two ovals. And then I made two different cam followers. I made a circular one and I made a square one. And what I'm going to do is put my hole first. Now, if you're old enough, you can use hot glue gun to do this faster. Or if you don't even have a hot glue gun, tape will work just fine. Okay, so got that. I'm gonna do the other one. Need more hot glue. Okay. I'll let that kind of gel up. And while that's doing that, there we go. Now let me know if y'all have any questions about any part of this. This will probably end up being a really short demo because I've built a few of these before. Okay. And I am quickly just okay, got that. We are making a simple automaton. That is what we're making. Know some of my friends call these crank toys, but they're pretty much automaton, especially if you attach a motor to it. Or use like water to move the crank. Okay, and unlike my other one, I did 2 different examples so we can see how motion is transferred differently. So there's that. Right there. Okay. Now that my glue is dry, I have bamboo skewer. This is pretty much an axle. We're going to be building a camshaft, and a camshaft is pretty much something that has one or several different cams on it. Use what you have to hold through it. You'll pretty much want to try to have things be perpendicular when you put this in. I'm just going to make a rough measurement so I can make sure it goes through the other side. Okay, so to the other side. It's an old trick right there, is to just use a stick and mark your different measurements. Instead of going around trying to find a decent ruler. Okay, there we go. Get my holes pre-marked. Okay, so now I'm going to put in the cams a little differently. What part can't you see, Rut? I know, my camera is really focusing on the faces that I drew. So that's a hilarious kind of issue that I never expected. Is that better? Okay. Yeah, just let me know if I need to move something back or forth. Absolutely willing to do. Okay. And I'm just laying those there for now. Okay, so I have this one that way. And I'm going to put the other one more horizontal. Okay. And I might have to adjust the cams. Oh. There we go. Look, another hole. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to do my adjustments. Okay. Okay, and we'll review the parts again. Okay. We got our camshaft. Our cams are these little plates right here. The ones that out of cardboard. I made them more oval. It's going to change pretty much kind of like the timing of how my objects on top spin. There we go. So you can better see that. Okay. I'll get my hot glue gun card out of the way. There we go. Okay. These are the cam followers, so the motion of me turning this is going to make the camshafts move, and then that is going to transfer that motion to the cam followers. Okay. So, and I might have to glue the cam followers, well, cams, because it looks like it's just spinning in their circles. So I'll glue that and give that a try right there. Now, waiting for glue to dry is probably the hardest part. There we go. for demoing purpose, I might just pretend, if this does not decide to stay still like it should, I might manually control the cams to demo what's going on. Does anybody have any questions while we are waiting for the hot glue gun to do its job to get the cams to stay in place on their axle? Or does have anybody can think of places you would think you would see a cam system, or a place where you think you've seen a automaton? Oh, there we go. Well, that one's going. Okay, there we go. Okay, so based on how I set up the cams, these are moving differently. I set that other cam more in the center. There we go. If you notice the one with that little kind of dancing robot, because I made that more of a square, I have more of a spinning and more of a kind of bouncing up and down movement, especially when right there it's right at that point, and then when it goes up to that higher point, it bounces up. And you can cut the cams to do different motions. Yeah, that's a really good example. Like I said, pretty much this is the way to make something move. I'd say it's kind of like early programming, depending on how people shaped their cams and made their cam followers. It really changed the motion. That's the whole thing that's going on, is transfer of motion. So you got a rotating motion, and also there's a linear motion. It's moving up and down. So it's a way to take a rotational motion and convert it to a linear motion. Okay. And there we have it. We have a simple automaton. You can make it out of pretty much anything you have laying around the house. If you do make one, please share it with us in the comments. I'd love to see them. And please join us tomorrow at 9:30 for our Early Learner Live, and again at 1 for our Facebook Live demos. Thank you for joining us.